Welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use AI model with your Unreal Engine completely for free. You don't need to have any subscription for expensive models. You can set it up everything for free. It's not going to be as performant as you would have like a big model from Anthropic or OpenAI, but I will give you and show you another options what we can do. So first thing first, what you need to do is you need to have Unreal Engine 5.8. It's not going to work in any previous version because 5.8 enable that options for us. So first thing first, what we need to do is we need to go to edit and plugins, and I will do MCP. So basically we need to install those plugins, Unreal and MCP and Client Tools, both of them coming from Epic Games here. And MCP is Model Context Protocol. That is a kind of bridge between your Unreal and your AI agent. So we need to enable this. Unreal will ask you to restart the Unreal, do that, and it will be enabled. The second thing what we need to do is we need to go to edit and also editor preferences, and we need to find Model Context Protocol. So Model Context Protocol, basically you can set up how that MCP server starts. You can say auto start server here and then enable tool search. You can enable here. Here you can specify the port. I will be talking about the port in a second, and also URL path. So this is basically settings for Model Context Protocol. If you do that auto start server here and restart your project, it will be started automatically. And we can actually test it if that's running locally on your machine or not. I'll go to terminal here, but you can go to prompt or whatever your operating system is. Go to your terminal that you use. And what we can do is we can say curl. If you have curl, basically that's way to call some external URL and to get me a message. So HTTP :// and then that will be localhost 127.0.0.1. That's basically mean localhost, which means your local machine. And then we need to specify here a port. As you remember, we had port 8000. If you have something else running on port 8000, you can specify in the settings in Unreal to use a different port, like 8001 or something. But we had in the settings 8000, so this will be port 8000. And then you remember we had MCP here as a URL path. So basically this is port, this is the path. So if I go back here and test it, you can see here I didn't get anything back, but I didn't get any errors. That means my server is running there in the background. So Unreal started server, this is listening on my local host, that means my local machine, and it's ready to be served. So let's go back to Unreal here, and we can close that. That everything is running. If you don't have it running, like you haven't restarted that or you didn't have auto start, you can also start that service from command line. So you see here, you can have a command here, or you can do tilde and you can press it. It will open that command in a bigger window. What you can do is you can run some commands from here. So you can do Model Context Protocol. Basically, that's this here, that's the first bit. That's basically that plugin, and then you do dot and then start server, and then you can say like, oh, I want to start server or 8000. I already have it running, so it will tell me that probably is running. So starting all listeners started. This is running my server. I had it on auto start, so I don't have to do it. But if you don't have it, you can use that start server. What we can also do is, if I will go here, so basically Model Context Protocol, that's a plugin that we have installed here, and then we can use some commands here. What we need to do is we need to generate a client config. So I will do dot generate client config. I can do tab to finish that, and then in the generate client config, what I can do is I can specify what client configs I would like to have. If I will hover over this, it will tell me at the very end of this command to see it's Cloud Code or pipe cursor, pipe VS Code, Power Gemini, Codex, or all. What I can do now is I can specify for what AI agent setup, I would like to generate that. I can do all, and that means it will generate everything for me. So I will do all, and you can see here from that command that few of the files has been generated, and they've been generated in my folder where I am. So if I will go here, this is where I am in my terminal in the folder. If I will do LHA, that's a command in my Mac. I'm in the Mac at the moment. I can say like show me everything in the hidden files, what's in the folder, and you can see here Codex, Cursor, Gemini, MCP JSON has been created here in my folder in that where I have my Unreal Engine project. That's been created automatically because I ran that command there. So if I would like to see what's in this file, I'm more interested in this file. Now I can do cat MCP cat basically in. You don't have to do this, but cat basically it will print whatever it's in that file. So you can open that file and you will see the same. It's a text file with a JSON format, and it says MCP servers Unreal MCP. It's a type of HTTP, and this is my URL for that server. So basically it's a setup here. It will tell me what server is running and on what URL. You don't have to go there, you don't have to check it. Once you run it in your Unreal here, it will do it for you. As you can see here, that MCP JSON has been created because we run that all commands there. Okay, so this is running. We've checked that the server is running. We have it enabled, and our Unreal is prepared for this. So all good. What we need to do now is we need to install AI on our local machine. And how we can do that? There are multiple ways to do this. The easiest way I found is starting with Studio. So basically it's a program that will help you install local models on your machine. So what you should do first is download that. I'm on the Mac, so you can see here I have a download for Apple Silicon. You download it, install, and we can start from there. So let's go to LM Studio now. Okay, I have LM Studio here opened, and there's a few things that we will need to do first. First, we need to install model. So I can click on the left hand, you can see here on the left hand side, the model search. What I can do is I can click on this and I can install model. You can see here on the left hand side we have a lot of different models that we can pick from, and it's like I can click on any of those and you will see some information. What we need to do is, to order to use it with our Unreal Engine, is to find a model that will have tool use. So this is very important because we will use tools for AI, and AI will need to know that we are able to use the tools for our Unreal. So some of the models here, I don't know if I can find, like for example this one has no option for tools. Tools basically will give you that kind of icon with I think it's a hammer or something. So you can install any of this. The thing is that installing a model is complicated because it will consume a lot of resources. The bigger model is, generally it's better. So if you will install something that is, let's say this one, for example, that will occupy like 19 gigabytes of RAM on your machine if you have that many spare. So this is expensive model, but it's not even comparable to what the big OpenAI or Anthropic use. So this will be still less performant than what you can have it. But remember, having Unreal running on the same machine as your model, it will limit your options. So you can't really have anything big or huge running on your machine and use the Unreal in the same time, because it will just crash your machine. So maybe you have another machine on the same network that you can run your model and then you can get it from there, or you can have a lot of VRAM that you can use, and then you can run your Unreal on low performance. That's also an option as well. So what model do we choose? It's really up to you. There's a website here, and it says, can I run that AI? And it basically tells you what kind of models you can run here. And it knows my machine, automatically knows how much RAM I have and how I can run it. I don't have a dedicated VRAM. I am on the Max Silicon. That means I kind of share RAM with a VRAM, but basically the more VRAM you have, the better model you will be able to run it. It's kind of recommended which one I can run it here, and I can click. You see that purple icon also show you if that model can use tools. Like this one, for example, has no tools, so it's not going to be a very good use for us. And you can see here by the size, that means how many VRAM or RAM it will consume for you. If you don't have enough VRAM, it can use your RAM, but it will be slower and so on. So you need to find how much spare do you have it, and you will try to run the biggest you can. So basically this will be quite small. Model is not gonna be very good, but eventually it's up to you. If I will go to my LM Studios, I can go here to all models. This is all models I have installed here. And you can see here different models have a different requirement. So for example, this one, Quen, that is 17 gigabytes, so it's almost 18 gigabytes of RAM. That will consume most of what I have on my machine. Because I have 24 at the moment, and I still need to have it like record this video, and I also need to have like Unreal Engine. This will probably crash my machine running that in the current setup. But this has 27 billion parameters. That's quite good model for that setup. If I will go for something smaller, it's not going to be as good as this one. So it's always kind of balance what you can do. Some of the smaller models are not going to work because they are not going to be able to run it. So I will try to run maybe this one. Gemma, so it can use tools, and it's kind of reasonably small for this setup. So let's try this one, but you can experiment with different models as well, like Quen Coder. That's quite a good one, but this is not with the tools used, so it cannot use this one. So you need to find the one that will have that blue icon here. Anyway, so what can we do? We can go to code here, to the chat, and we can start a new chat here. First thing first, what you can do is you can select a model to load. So here we can do is we can say we would like to, let's say, run this one. I haven't I think tried this one yet, but I can load this here. And this is loaded in my memory. You also have an option to manually choose model parameters option if you have them, and some of the models will have a different kind of parameters that you can set up, like how much memory you would like to give it and so on. So you can do that here. I also can click here and I can say, okay, model supports that many tokens. I can do that, and I can GPU offload, change different parameters to match my current setup here. What I need to do is, if I go here into developer, this is basically that kind of API that my local model uses. And I can run it, load the model here. But what's important is on the top here, you have MCP JSON. If I will click on that, I can list a list of servers that this LM Studio will use. So what I need to do is, inside that MCP servers, I will put that I have Unreal MCP. So I can paste that in. As you remember, this is the file that we generated here. So you can see here MCP servers. This is the MCP JSON. Basically, it says Unreal MCP, type HTTP, URL this one. Oh, I'm running the model now, so you can see here I have memory pressure warning already. And so if I go back here, you can see here I need actually URL. I don't need that type here, and I can save here. So MCP server added, and you can see it's being configured, so I can configure, it will go back here. So if that MCP server is added, so going here in that JSON, going back here, what I can do is on the right hand side, I have integrations, and I have that box here. So MCP, Unreal MCP. So I can enable that, and I can list what I would like to give a permission to, like list toolsets, and I will show that in a second, describe toolset and call tool. That means what I'm telling my model is we have that Unreal MCP, we have that server running, you can ask for a list toolset. That means list of tools that you can use with Unreal. Describe toolset, so tell what the tool does, and you can also call it. So if let's say we want to do something with assets, so we have a tool for assets, and then we this model will be able to call it. This is the loaded model here into my memory. It's not a very good model, but I can have a chat with this. So for example, I can put a message here, and I can see here from the tools that it's using is one of the tools is MCP, Unreal MCP, because it is enabled here. So that means whenever I'm having a chat with my model, it will use MCP, and MCP server is running on my project. So that means it will know the context of my project that is running there. So let's use this prompt. Use the list toolset, basically this is list toolset, to show me what Unreal Engine tools are available. And I can run it here. And you can see here Gamma 4, which is basically the model that I'm running here, is thinking about it. So list toolset, it knows that you can use this one. You can see here it used that tool. So that means list toolset, and it's thinking about it. And you can see here, it's kind of listing what is available on that MCP connection. And it will tell me in a second. And you can see here what is available. I think altogether there's a 17 different tools that we can use with Unreal. Let's say editor app toolset, or logs toolset, actor toolset. That means it access tools, and it will kind of describe what you can do about it. So you can see this is already done, and you can start giving it instruction to change your project that is running here. But you have that tools, it is connected, the server is running. So what you could do is you could say that I would like to do something, and then it will execute it for you. And as I said, it's very limited to what you have available on your machine. So if you have stronger machine, you can run it locally, model and Unreal. If you have a not good machine, it's not going to work. So I'm not going to lie to you that you can run it on the weak machine. I've tried this, and it's like on my setup, it's kind of barely working. So if you have, like, say, Mac Mini or something running in next to your machine, you can connect it, and you can have your model using all the resources on the different machine, and just use Unreal for this one. So that's also available, but the integration is there. You have your model, it's connected to MCP is running on Unreal, and you can run it like this. So hopefully that will show you the setup, how it is done. It's not perfect. You still will have much better performance if you will use something like big models from big companies. AI, they have like 10 or 100 times better models than what you can run on your machine. But this option is for free. You can actually use that for something useful if you have powerful machine to run it. If you don't, it's better not to do it, and that's the thing. But you have that option, and it will be completely for free. Hopefully that kind of help you understand how to set it up and how this all works in connection with local models. And basically you are not really limited to use it in the LM Studio, because as you remember, we've also checked we have different setup here, and different agents can connect to it. So if you use the Claude, you can also do Claude. For example, here, if you use Claude CLI, you can run it in your machine, and you can see here, oh, use this MCP server, because Claude will recognize the files that we've generated, and you can say, oh yeah, I would like to use the Claude. So if you have any paid service, that will be better option. But if you want to run the local one, the LM Studio is also an option that you could use if you can't really afford any expensive subscriptions.